And then I'll bring in the future Pleiadians, and then they know what is expected. They are waiting, and they said they will help. I
Thank you.
love,
We appreciate
I
that
love
immensely.
them. And it is humans who wait for us, and not the other way around. For we merely come in at the appropriate times in your time. And we understand the sense of urgency on your end, but it is not necessary. There is plenty of time and leeway within it to communicate with you and to you all of the information which you desire, and obviously, information which you do not desire, which we may choose to impart upon you. And for the teacher individual, they have been chosen, and we shall bring them in. There may be a period of adjustment as this energy, while within tolerances, is still novel to this particular being, meaning the channel. So we will recede and we will monitor and we will support. And we thank you again for your love and integrity and support in not only this session, but in the missions and the overall missions of your group and open contact and others, which you have agreed to perform and have chosen on other levels.
Very honored to do so. Thank you.
And this is a new experience for us in this way. We come to you in brotherhood, and we bring to you our love and our heart, for we are wrapped up in the same event, the same preparations, so to speak, just in different levels, in different guises. And while our name is not pronounced in human form, you may call us that, Baneesha, and we shall associate with it.
Thank you, Baneesha.
And we are indeed one of the teachers, and there are many of us, and we are able to ascertain in your terms the questions of the individual who is helping in the mission by completing his book. And this suggestion, like many others, were given to the hybrid children, for they are indeed more focused on play and how they can use what is before them in humorous ways than are conveying the information which may be of service to you and yours. We
Thank
have
you.
come today to impress upon you not only the importance of your missions, but the importance of the overall mission. For although it has all been determined and exists in other ways than your linear forms, that is an energetic reality which has yet to unfold in what you consider timelines, which are merely variations of events, paths leading up to the same summit on your mountains in ways. The categories of teachers are not as rigid as what you would have assumed. We have no specific subjects which one will cover, for we all are interconnected in those ways. And while we have our specialties and we have our own personal desires and favorites, those are based on a frequency match more than they are a desire which comes forth from the environment. like it does with humans. And all of us are capable to bring forth the particular lessons which are needed, for we are all drawing from the same field of information in your terms, the same wellspring of knowledge. And while we may come about it in different ways, that mainly depends upon the audience to which we are coming to. For different hybrid children have different, we do not wish to say more appropriate, but ways of integration which fit better with their natural tendencies. And the watchers themselves are merely special guests in the lesson curriculum. For instance, if we are speaking of or teaching of a particular planetary system or society, and we have one of those beings available, they will come in and help to provide more detailed information via frequencies more often than what you would consider language or communication in that way. For most carry pictures, visuals of events in their individual lives and others which are referenced and can be provided to the lovely children. We call them children, for they are the only children which we have on our ships. And that will help in filling in the nuances and helping them get a fuller comprehension of the lessons themselves. And all of those beings are not as playful as what the children would like, but that is to be expected. And while they may be joyful in spirit, for instance, the mantis beings just are not engaging in that way of play, as your tall whites, which come through this channel, are not engaged in play in that way. Amongst their own kind, they can be quite frivolous, for there are ways of expression which are more readily accepted, we will say. As far as the curriculum, it is chosen by many, and it depends on the mission and the progress that humans are making. For indeed, there are fine tunings and levels, such as learning your languages and adaptations. For instance, your melanin has to be adjusted for certain individuals when they prove to be a better fit or a more adequate subject for engaging a particular geographic area on your planet. Have we covered the main subjects which the channeler wishes to achieve in this interaction?
The main subjects you have, but I'd like to see if we can go a little bit deeper.
Please do so. We are here at your service.
So rather than focus on the various different kinds of teachers, I like to ask, how are they being prepared emotionally, vibrationally? How are they being trained in terms of the social skills? What is it that is being emphasized in the current training that the
We
children are
we
receiving?
ask for clarification and only one question at a time, please. Are you addressing the teacher's needs or the children's needs?
I am addressing what the children need and are receiving
How
from
do
the
you
teacher.
learn what your children need?
Resonance and energy to me, for me.
You know what they need for survival. You hope that you need, or you know what they need for their growth. And you do the best you can with the knowledge and the resources you have at hand. This is no different. Only we have all of the resources and knowledge, not even at hand, but innate within us. And those too are changed as the needs of the children change. So there need be no set protocol. It is merely a flowing. And as they express their own interests, that is taken into consideration, and the future educational needs are adjusted. For some do indeed have certain aptitude for other things. Some prefer to specialize in human contact, some in animal contact or environmental needs, some in rejoicing with the spirit realms, some in extraterrestrial, in your terms, contact, and teaching them about humans. There are many, many roles, and each child picks what they prefer. We do not hamper them in any way or lead them into other ways, for it all flows naturally. And should there be what you would consider a gap in the mission protocol or an individual to fill a specific slot, they are merely created to fill that in. And that in that way, there is no hampering of the adjustments or the desires or the educational fun lessons that the children wish to undertake. We merely work around their particular focuses to make sure that all is accomplished.
We will be moving to cohabitation. So the children will be habitating with families.
It will be some time, except for those who are already on your planet.
Oh, okay. I wanted to talk about the ones that are already in the planet a little bit. If you could shed any information about that.
They are test subjects, you may say. They are more advanced of the hybrid children, and they have been schooled in different ways. And while they are in touch with the hybrid children on the ships, they do not relay all of their information, for the children are not ready for that in their ways. The children on your planet have difficulties, for the humans are not like them. And that is not the difficulty, it is the fact that the humans do not believe and they do not perform. They have behaviors which are not like them. Withholding something from someone or something in need is abhorrent and would never be done by a hybrid child. They tend to recoil when they experience a being who is suffering and no one reaches out to help. They have many quiet times in this, and they must be consoled by other entities which are nearby and always in touch. But they do enjoy the loving expressions like the pets. But some of them are in homes which, although the lessons are valuable, is a rather tough challenge for those particular children. And they have to be adjusted in ways. And some of them choose to leave early as opposed to continuing their mission. So they will succumb to circumstances, we will say, with our blessing. For it is indeed each of those heroes' choices, and ones which have come into contact with the cruelty of others. Do not embrace that energy. And it is difficult enough for them to have a reduced role and not to fulfill their innate desires and objectives of playing and sharing and loving without having them to purposely interact with beings who exhibit what you have called low vibrational behaviors. And they can handle those to a limited degree. But we do not wish to scar them in that way. And after they do leave the physical plane, they become great teachers themselves in the spirit realm. For there are indeed hybrid children who have gone over to spirit, which act as teachers and guides. And they will continue to do so until they choose otherwise and pursue their own soulful destinations. They are indeed glorified and revered by all who know them, just as your hybrid children will be when they come planetside.
So these are essentially souls of great service, and they are in a mission that services not just humanity, but the consciousness of all the beings that exist in this universe.
They are guides. You may consider them probes that you send out so they can take samples of various parts of planetary surfaces or asteroids, as it may be. They take readings, they relay back information, and that information becomes integrated into the other plans. And some of them thrive better than others. Most of that is an environmental capacity to accept those changes and to minimize the effect of some of the negative aspects. But in some cases where there is, we do not like to use the term abuse, but that is appropriate. And it may not be and is not the families who have taken it upon themselves to integrate those beings into their units, but those outside of the family units who interact with them are not always of like mind and do not always reach heart first for those children when they interact with them. Unfortunately, you are well accustomed to those behaviors amongst others and know of them.
Yes, indeed. It's difficult for sure, even of a human that has an open heart. I see that there will still be children that will be here at the time in which we start actually making open contact with these children. In other words, they're here now and they will be here then. How will their roles grow as they are here?
They will be freed of their bonds of not or of pretending who they are not. Such as you, when you encounter a large group and all of a sudden you find out there is someone from your hometown who speaks your language, who will understand the nuances of what you are trying to convey. And you instantly form a bond with them and you share the commonalities, and there are smiles radiating abundantly. It will be a homecoming of sorts. And for specific parental units or accompaniments, they may join those particular children as they are included in the enclaves. There may be a period of adjustment, and it all depends on the mission parameters, which are foremost and top notch, are topmost. And those must be the focus always. For that is what we are all striving towards. And even if that is not expressed, that is the desired goal of the millions of beings who are not humans, who are involved in these processes of transformation and leading and educating humans into better use of their resources, human and planet wise. Not to mention the energies of the ethereal realms and those beings who they will be in connection with. There will not need to be a re-education in those ways, but there may be some limited segregation from the main population of the children to come, because those children are kept in seclusion in some ways and buffered from the actions of humanity. And while they may know of them, they know of them in an indirect way when we can help it. They do not come into contact with those frequencies themselves, and they will be awakened to some of the possibilities when they do.
Yeah, that addresses something that was in my mind, that the adjustments to their light bodies and their energetic fields will have to be massive as they mingle more and more with humanity.
It will not be difficult, for they will be gradually eased in, and likewise, humanity will be likewise eased into them. It will be a slow process. This will not be a scattering. This will be a slow melding. And only those environments which are helpful, which aid in the mission, will be allowed to experience them in a more open climate, we will say.
What would you like to disseminate to the people here on the planet that have an openness to hybrid children as, what can I say, an instruction set on how they should be preparing the ground around themselves for this major event?
They need to emulate the hybrid children when at all possible. Some of the more drastic consequences of lifting a hand to help others have been removed in your societies. Those who exhibit the vulnerability of aiding strangers do not have to worry in ways about violence coming back to them. Now, those who have called that as part of their plan or as part of their beliefs will still experience that as part of the schoolroom earth they have chosen. But in general, those good deeds will be rewarded and not punished, as that contrasting phrase goes in your vocabulary. So if they do reach out and they make it a point to lead heart first, see, it is not what the individuals do so much to help the hybrid children. It is what the individuals do to lift up those around them and those who they encounter, to help spread that vibrational lift, to create an overall environment where they may come in. You might say the pool is too cold for the children to swim, and each interaction with humans helps warm it up a bit. And as those spread out, then the pool will soon become warm enough for all to swim together.
What message can we spread to those that we have the ability to be in any kind of contact?
We
Digital,
urge,
yeah. Go ahead.
We urge you not to spread or think about any message, but merely to show them by your example. That is the best way in this particular time to awaken the many. For the words are still tainted, the actions are not. And after they encounter a couple of loving actions, they will think about doing so themselves or discuss those events with others. And innately, it will pass between those individuals telepathically that the world is changing. Things are getting better.
Indeed, there's evidence that I see on a daily basis, even though the big things don't appear to, but it's just the nature of change, basically. Going back to the children that are here already, uh, and as you said, some will be here for the long run, and some will not, and that's part of the plan. Number of different reasons for that, of course. But those that are, as I continue to, in a linear time sense, age, they will be able to get into some positions of what we're going to call earthly power. What do you guys see there?
They do not wish to have that type of notoriety. They may be entrepreneurs in the arts, and some of those children are now, in your linear terms, in their 20s. They will be brought forth to help communicate to humans, some in public forums, to help educate them on the children to come, and to help acclimate them and answer some of their questions, especially where they are known in those communities, in those groups. And if you think about it, that is a natural way to progress the acceptance of the overall mission of leading to having extraterrestrials live amongst you and not bat an eye.
Beautiful. Are the children aware of the multiple timelines that are available for
They are
us?
aware of what they need to be aware. They know of them. But if it is not relevant, it never enters their thoughts. If you are watching a program or a movie which you are intensely involved in, you do not care what are any of the other channels or options which are available. That is more of the same in an analogy for you.
It's a beautiful analogy. Yeah, indeed. Uh, and how are the galactic lineages that bring us to this place continuing their efforts to what integrate
Those
humanity?
terms is not valid. The lineages of which you speak are frequently of longer terms than your centuries by far. And all different races do not have the same biology and do not provide offspring in your ways of reckoning the way or in any way which you would conceive of. They may merely send out offshoots of them and have those offshoots cross different barriers in which they manifest in those particular realms in different ways. And that is the best example that we can give you.
Yeah.
For
Thank you.
you are indeed a type of energy which, outside of this particular realm, has a completely different form if you consider that a form.
Sure. How do the children see us, the awakened adults?
They do not see you in the way which you mean. They experience you with a myriad of senses, many of which you do not have incorporated in your chosen biology, your form. They experience you on a variety of levels, even within that, for they are able to detect your energetic essences prior to manifestations. They will have foreknowledge of events to come, for they can see laterally the possibilities and the probabilities of those future unfoldments which humans have chosen to keep from their knowing.
There's much that we can learn from them.
That is an understatement.
Yeah.
We thank you for bringing it up.
I'm in awe for sure. And to be here is an honor.
And we must is the wrong word, but since it is a valuable bit of information that the children which are coming are going to easily be more accepted by the feminine forms on your planet. For the patriarchy and those who have chosen to limit their emotional expressions will find it hard at first to break their identities, which they are familiar with. In time, those hearts will melt, those patterns of behavior will erode, and they too will embrace the children with loving, open arms. But they will pretend in their ways and stick to their roles they have chosen, their macho sensibilities and actions, and the boundaries they have set for those. But you are losing those, thankfully so. But that is one aspect of coming in, which will take some time before full acceptance will be allowed. Your younger generation shall not have that issue. They are more accepting, except in those homes where those overriding masculine overtones are predominant.
It has been said that 2050 or thereabouts is major place where a lot of these things begin to merge and become more prevalent on the planet. But I tend to think personally that we're looking at an entirely different realm here around proximity of the end of this century.
It has yet to be determined.
So you're saying it could even take longer.
We are saying it is dependent on many factors, many of which are beyond your understanding. Acceptance and a loving heart will bring them in faster. Resistance, like everything in your physical realm, will make things more challenging, difficult, barrier filled. If you go with that loving flow,
Is the flow. Yeah.
it will flow.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that. Flow.
You will always experience rapids on your trip downstream, but some of them are easier to avoid or to navigate than others. It depends on who steers the boat and the type of boat you choose.
It seems like we are getting a lot of benefit of out of these interactions that we've been having with all of you, the children, the teachers, and other architects of the program. Question is, how much are you guys gaining through these interactions?
That is an understatement, for you do not realize the impact of being teachers yourselves to all of these other races, to watch you and your kind bloom in ways from the darkness, the abyss which you have submerged yourself in, and to come up to the surface smiling and say, "See what we have learned. Let us show you." It is not so much for us, for we know what the futures are for you. It is for the joy which we feel in providing our part of our mission. And if it is engaging with humans, then we shall. With full open hearts and desires. It will be for those who have those missions their greatest desires. For us, we, me in particular, is the children. They are our only focus. They are more important than our individual sustenance or fulfillment, for they are one and the same. In ways which is hard for humans to comprehend. They are the beat of our heart.
Yeah, it's all about the heart, I think. The unity of hearts, I guess.
We are approaching the end of this interaction, and we thank you for aiding this one in obtaining the information he desired, which shall be incorporated and which shall aid in the fulfillment of those who encounter the book.
Yes, very important book.
And
We
we bless
appreciate it.
you as you have blessed us with
We
your
appreciate
time
it.
and
Thank you.
your energy.
Thank you.
It is greatly appreciated and received. And we hope, and you will, receive benefit in kind.
Thank you. Mm. Baneesha is going to be quite a resource for you and for all of us.
They were focused on the children the whole time.
Yeah.
It's amazing how encompassed they are, how they have blinders on about all of the children, almost to the extent that nothing else exists until it needs to.
Sure.
I wasn't
The,
aware of that.
yeah, they're very focused on the timelines that have the children, doing all kinds of things that are appropriate, and that allow us to get on the same kind of stream. How do we get into those timelines? Basically, that's what I feel. Uh, so you said that you think you're going to have a book ready in another
by the
60
end,
days or something
by
like
the end of
that?
the month.